Victor Wembanyama, unlike anybody ever. And here's an example of that, Vince. This is the Pistons and the Spurs. So this is a big game and what could be a preview of the NBA Finals. And Wemby putting on a show for them early. Spurs already out to an 11-point lead. And watch this. A little too big. Come on. It's just like it's unfair, right?
He's Victor Voorhees. You like Jason Voorhees?
Yeah, exactly.
Victor Voorhees. The man is everywhere.
He is inevitable. Spurs now up 15 points, and they play defense. That's Wembanyama right in the middle of all of it. Now we're going the other way. De'Aaron Fox ahead of the floor. He would score 29. Spurs a 16-point halftime lead, making a statement. Early fourth. Lead's been cut to 8. But again, it's that defense. Here comes Carter Bryant with the swat from behind, and now we're going the other way. Stay with the play. Wemby, Champagnie, take it along that baseline. Spurs by 10. And then finally, we need a little eye candy. Fourth quarter, Spurs up 11. Wembanyama on one end. Stay with it. Loose ball. Wembanyama. Okay.
Look at the hustle.
Look at him go. 38 points and 16 rebounds. As the great Jack Buck said on the night that Kirk Gibson hit that home run, I don't believe what I just saw. Between Shohei Ohtani and now Victor Wembanyama, 38 points, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks. It was 4 of 10 from 3. Spurs are 8-0 this year when he makes at least 4 threes in a game. They win those games by an average of 14 points. We have Tim McMahon up with us early as well as with Vince Goodwill with us here today and Joe Fortenbaugh, our betting expert. Tim, what are the right things to say about Victor Wembanyama on a morning like this?
Howdy, Greeny. We have never seen a talent like this. 7 foot, several inches tall, athletic, great instincts, and when he's hitting his jumper, there's no more dominant player in the NBA today. You knew the Pistons were in big trouble when on the opening possession, Wemby hits, 27, 28-footer. Jalen Duren was an absolute hell trying to guard him on the perimeter. He's always the most dominant defensive player maybe that we've ever seen. When he gets that jumper flowing, I know people want to whine about his shot selection. Oh, he's big man, get inside. They're 8-0 when he hits at least 4 threes. They're essentially unbeatable when the jumper's going down for Wembanyama.
He's not a big man. He's a 7'7" wing player who can do absolutely anything. And at times, it almost looks like he has point guard-esque skills. How about this Spurs team? That feels like a big win last night in a game that some people are positioning as a preview of the NBA Finals.
It's not. It's not a preview of the NBA Finals.
No.
Just because Detroit is not ready, you can see some of their roster deficiencies over the past couple of weeks. They don't have the shot creation outside of Cade Cunningham. They don't have the shooting to make sure that they go through 4 rounds of the playoffs.
Right.
But what you see with the Spurs is they are ready sooner rather than later. They have multiple guys that can get to the basket, multiple guys that can feed Victor Wembanyama at the rim, and they can all defend. The biggest question the Spurs had was their shooting. When they're hitting their shots, when they're hitting long range, as they do against Oklahoma City, Greeny, they're going to be a problem. The only question is, they've never been to the playoffs as a unit.
Right.
We've never seen a team go from not making the playoffs to going through 3 playoff rounds in this type of Western Conference. That would be unprecedented.
Yeah, my friend Michael Wilbon always says you have to have your heart broken a time or two before you can get over the top. But, you know, Tim, I cover football for the network, and all season long we kept saying about the New England Patriots, they're ahead of schedule, they're too young. It's ahead of schedule, they're too young. And then one day you wake up and they're in the Super Bowl. Could we be living that here with Wembanyama and the Spurs?
Well, as Vinny said, we've never seen a team skip the line like that to go from no playoff experience to a championship parade. We've also never seen anything like Victor Wembanyama. So, you know, our buddy Brian Windhorst likes to say you cannot put a ceiling on Wemby because he will only hit his head on it. I will not rule out anything. And I'll tell you this, the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, we know the Spurs have no fear of them. Remember, they beat the Thunder 3 times in 12 days back in December, and that kind of put an end to, hey, is that OKC team going to beat or going to break the record for wins in a season?
Fortenbaugh, what does the smart money say?
So right now, the Spurs have the 2nd most wins of any team in the NBA. They're tied with Detroit. They're sitting 3 back of OKC. You can bet that the Spurs finish the regular season with the most wins at 11-1. Now, if this is sitting there 5-1, 6-1, you say you're probably not catching the Thunder. 11-1, that's worth the bet. Rest of the way out, San Antonio has the 11th easiest schedule in the NBA. Only 3 back-to-backs, and those second-half back-to-backs come 2 against the Clippers and 1 against Sacramento. They can handle it. Thunder, second toughest schedule the rest of the way. At 11-1, I like that price.
Okay, I like it. Stay close by. Vince.
3 years. Still remarkable how dynamic he is in transition. And I thought, the plays in the second half where he was able to catch it in the pocket and find Jackson. He had some spray out, paint touch threes that were generated from him getting in the paint. So he's just a phenomenal basketball player.
Reddick would akin him to Bruce Springsteen. Said he has one heck of a catalog. LeBron, 2003, a rookie. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, at that point owning the records for points, minutes, field goals, all-star appearances, and all NBA selections. You fast forward 22 years later, it's King James at the top of the table for all of those records.
The big question all season long for the Boston Celtics is when and if they are going to see Jason Tatum.
If they got Jason Tatum back, it would potentially change the balance of power in the whole league.
Got my groove back. Anybody in my way, move back. We walk in like who's that? I always got my cruise back. I'm smooth, yeah, got my groove back.
The Celtics were already having a fantastic season. Now Jason Tatum is back less than 10 months after rupturing his right Achilles against the Knicks in the playoffs. Tatum expected to make his return to the court tonight at home against the Mavericks. That from our Shams Charania. Tatum going to be on a minutes restriction as the Celtics ramp up his workload over the last 20 regular season games. The Celtics currently second in the Eastern Conference as senior NBA writer Vincent Goodwill joins the program. Vince, good morning to you. What are people around the league saying about Tatum's return?
Good morning, guys. I think what people have been telling me is that the Celtics plan to bring him around, slowly. They've been preparing for this for the past month or so with moving Peyton Pritchard to the bench with the expectation that Tatum will eventually be back in the starting lineup, back playing heavy minutes. Think about this. This is a month and a half, a little bit before the playoffs are to begin, so they want to give Tatum a longer runway. And speaking of longer runway, this is year one of a $314 million mega deal that Tatum signed. So the Celtics are looking at this not just short term for this season, but long term throughout the life of this contract.
As for this season, though, they continue to chase the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference. They lose to the Spurs last night, 38 points for Victor Wembanyama. It was Detroit's second loss in a row, but there's also concern for one of their key players. What more can you tell us there?
Asar Thompson early in the first quarter sprained his right ankle, and we're talking about arguably their second most impactful player because of his versatility on defense and as a secondary ball handler. I was told that he will miss some time. Not significant time, but he will miss some time, and the Pistons are not going to rush him back. They have a cushion in the Eastern Conference. It just happens to come at the worst possible time for Asar Thompson and Detroit.
He is one of their better defenders on a team that plays great defense. Pistons hosting the Nets tomorrow night. Vincent Goodwill with us this morning on SportsCenter. Thank you.